Hey y'all, Antoinette here. I wanted to hop on and share with you a word from the Lord. This is something He's been ministering to me a lot lately, especially at the start of the new year, and that is to start speaking life over your circumstances. Now we know in Matthew 12:34 says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And so what He has revealed to me about His children, myself included, because He's convicted me a lot about this lately, just recently, is that when we seek the Lord in that quiet place and we bring our prayers and our petitions before the Lord, He said many of us know how to fight in prayer. We know how to loose and bind and break generational curses. But He wants us to be careful that when we exit that quiet time with Him and we enter into the workplace or parenting mode, He wants us to be careful with the words that we speak into existence, right? Because they could very well easily be blocking and hindering the very things that we are praying for and contending for. As a parent, I realize how tempting it is to just gloss over a few words that were spoken carelessly, but the Lord has reminded me and convicted me that everything that we utter into existence impacts the people around us. It affects them, it affects us, it affects our future. Even the things that we murmur under our breath, the Lord hears everything. And so He wants His children, He wants us to be more mindful and to make a conscious effort to speak life over our family, over our children, over the people that we have to work with every single day. Proverbs 18:20-21 reads, "A man's stomach shall be satisfied from the fruit of his mouth, from the produce of his lips he shall be filled. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit." So we absolutely eat the fruit of our words. When we complain and when we say things like, I can't, or I won't, or I'll never be XYZ, fill in the blank, the minute we make these utterances, we come into agreement with them. And so many of us might be fighting witches and warlocks in the spirit on a daily basis, but the Lord wants us to be careful that we're not cursing our own lives and the lives of our family members by the trivial words or the words that we deem as trivial in our everyday lives. Because when we enter into an agreement with these word curses, we open up demonic doors, which can keep us stuck and stagnant and fruitless in our lives. So instead of complaining and grumbling, the Lord wants us to give thanks in all circumstances and to speak those blessings into existence, because Romans 4:17 says God gives life to the dead, and He calls those things which do not exist as though they did. We can speak into being what we want to happen, very much like Ezekiel did when he prophesied in the valley of the dry bones. We too can speak to the dry, barren places of our life. If it's a spiritual drought, a lack of finances, maybe it's a marriage, parenting, whatever area that we are not bearing fruit in, we can speak life into. A part of speaking these things into existence means we also have to be on the defense, not to accept a lie that comes at us from the enemy. But thankfully, the Lord has given His disciples, you and me, authority to cast down the lies the minute the enemy sends them our way. And so we all know I shouldn't say we all know, but most of us know 2 Corinthians 10:4-5. I'm going to read it for those who are not familiar with the verse. It says, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty in God for pulling down strongholds, casting down arguments and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, bringing every thought into captivity to the obedience of Christ." So to exit any agreement with the enemy, in other words, to break the curses that we have carelessly spoken over our life or the lives of the individuals around us, we have to first repent and get back into alignment with God. And so when we abide in God and we allow His truth to abide in us, we will then have discernment to know the difference between what is truth, absolute and unchanging truth, versus lies from the enemy. And so I want to read John 8:31-32. It says, "If you abide in my word, you are my disciples indeed, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free," or shall make you free. Free from oppression, fear, sickness, sin, confusion, basically everything that the enemy wants to keep you enslaved in. But a part of abiding in God's truth also means we have to be proactive in protecting our eye gates and our ear gates and not consume the things of the world. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. So when we are grounded in the truth and we come into agreement with God and His will for our life, we are then in position to receive victory over our enemy in all of the areas that he is attacking us in the most. And remember that we will give an account for every word spoken. So let's choose today for the 2024 goal to speak life into your circumstances and into the lives of those individuals that you encounter on a day-to-day basis, including your enemies, because you never know. God might be using your words to win the hearts of your enemies to the Father, to draw them back into a relationship with the Lord. Okay? I hope this encourages someone and reminds someone that life and death are in the power of the tongue. Okay? Stay prayed up, stay encouraged, and we'll talk soon.